Thank you for joining the webinar, Born to Influence. You received an invitation to watch this video with me on Zoom, and I suggested there might be a proposal I will make. So let's get started. I'm a visual. I like to see things as I'm learning. You could listen to me all day, but probably you won't absorb but a little tiny bit of what I have to share. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. It's a PowerPoint presentation called Born to Influence. There we go. Okay, very good. So it's nice to have you here today. If you don't know what a cow catcher is, I should start by explaining that is the metal slotted grid on the front of a locomotive, as you see here, to remove obstacles. And that is exactly my goal today. I'm here to remove the obstacles and change your mindset about what the possibilities are for creating an e-learning experience that's highly effective and highly valuable. This is for, let's find out who this is for, actually. Let's do that right now. It's called Born to Influence because this is for authors with a book, whether it's published or unpublished. It's also really for retired educators who have retired because of COVID or because of a career choice. It really doesn't matter which category you fit into, but the third one is the most important. Influencers, we're all influencers who know that we were born to influence others. We have a great desire to teach and reach an audience. And now, since everything has gone online, thank you, pandemic. We're ready for you. We're ready to go forward. But you might be asking why work with me. Well, as a veteran educator, I have learned over the years what it takes to influence, motivate, and activate transformation. I started with inner city kids when I was a teenager, teaching them archery, which I had never done before, but that didn't matter. I accomplished that task. I went on to teach Navajo Indians language arts, which, by the way, their language, their native language, confused the Japanese in World War II. So imagine that obstacle I had to overcome. And most of you here on this call might already know that I recently began teaching personal development classes and courses at correctional institutions, specifically Ridgeland Correctional Institute, Allendale, and Trenton. So that you know, I am very much known for my ability to cultivate hidden potential in those marginalized populations. That's why I call myself an education architect. It's because I am an expert at creating learning experiences that often lead to remarkable transformation and renewed proficiencies. But why should you work with Cowcatcher Publications? A great question. Let me tell you. My goal is to get you back to feeling creative, engaged, and useful, but without struggling with course creation technology. I want to help you give your successful transformational lessons a 21st century makeover so that you can preserve your inspirational legacy and extend it to a global audience. See, that's the goal here, is that we are able now, with the online situation we've been forced into, we are able to inspire learners in a global environment that you and I would never have reached otherwise. And of course, I'd like you to know up front what we're going to be talking about, because there are levels of involvement. Again, I had an invitation and I had a proposal sent to you via email. Thank you for responding. The first level is a discovery session where I give you 30 minutes of my time, free, no charge, just to figure out whether or not we are a match. I get real specific with your situation. So the second level, and this is important, it's called Born to Influence, a 90-day transformational experience for retired educators. Now that's a mouthful, but there's 12 weeks involved, at the end of which you will come away with an evergreen product which you can sell or donate. It's filled with videos and tutorials and worksheets and assignments. Every week we'll be meeting one-on-one, coaching you specifically with your course creation concerns. There's another level, but I won't talk about it here today, but there are people who already have courses and perhaps it's not a high value course or it's boring. Well, my gift as a creative is to enhance, edit, and enliven your assets, but also to add a business plan because you want to take your product to the marketplace and be a success. So let's talk about the Born to Influence 90-day transformational experience. And this again applies to everyone who may be sitting on the sidelines wondering what to do with your teaching gift, feeling kind of unfulfilled. I know I started to feel unfulfilled when the pandemic did not allow me to go into the institutions. So let's talk about it. This is where I will show you exactly how to extend your teaching gift with those 21st century tools. This is where we take your on-site, your lessons that were successful on site in a classroom, and we convert it to a highly effective e-learning experience. It's also where we're going to revitalize your retirement mindset. Your retirement is a place of joy, and it should not be filled with anxiety about where am I going to find my purpose in life. The last part, the last 4 weeks is pretty exciting, whether or not you have a goal of monetizing your asset, your product, your e-learning experience, your online course, whatever term you like to use. There are a lot of retired educators who would love to know about a gratifying side hustle, is how I hear it being called nowadays. And that's what we discuss. And that's important for a lot of people, but it doesn't have to apply to you if you're not going to monetize. We're still going to talk about a global audience and how to reach a broader audience than you could have even imagined. That's what I call profitability. Now, who are the players in this process? Well, there's me, the project manager, there's you, the project owner, and collaborators who we would call subject matter experts. There are people out there who could add to your content, and they are the subject matter experts. But how do you reach them? How do you get them involved and insert them into your course? That will be discussed. So now let me start with how preparation begins. This is a picture of my desktop when I started to prepare my e-learning course. I started with 2 main PDF files. It's the manuscript of the book and the journal. I created the book as a co-author, so I own the copyrights, no problem there. And I discovered that after the book was published, there are discussion questions that were not being fully utilized. And how do I get people to discuss those questions and interact with the healing message that is embedded in the book? So I created a journal. And then I was able to combine these things with other assets into the e-learning experience. But to go back to what I highly recommend, start with a clean desktop. Then be careful about naming your files. I like to name my files with dates because, believe me, there will be revisions. You'd like to include the word final sometimes, but really the date is more important than the word final, but that's up to you. Here's the most important thing I'm telling you about preparation. You have to save each chapter, or in your case, it might be a section of learning, as its own PDF file, and then place those PDF files into a folder labeled parts or components, you might say. The correct terminology, once we get into the platform, it will be called assets. So here's, again, another example of what you're going to experience and what I highly recommend. This is an example of what my total pardon parts of the book's file folder looks like inside the folder. You might create more than one e-learning course, and in that situation, please stay organized. I suggest using those tags, which in my world in Mac are the blue circles. That way I know everything here that has a blue circle was related to my total pardon e-learning experience. But also notice the dates of the creation, because my editor, whom I love dearly, she found a lot of typos, which I couldn't see. And that meant republishing the e-learning course, which I think I've done 4 times, but it doesn't matter. It's an easy process. If I saved the corrected file under the same file name, it automatically replaced the old file with the new file. However, if I added a space or I misspelled the word chapter, any slightly different name is a troublesome obstacle you don't want to have to confront. So the most recent date identified for me the corrected file so that I could delete the old file. So that's why I included this in my presentation today, so you could see that. Also, I wanted you to see that I created a folder just for the media. And this is a separate folder where I could store the images, the audio files, the video files. And again, another example of how we should be consistent when you're naming a file. This way you can check and see that everything's in the correct order, or if something's missing. Here's what it looks like. This is what the learner, the user, will see with your course. You can add an image, you see that, the book cover, and then you see a course objective, the title and the course objective. And that's important because we are trying to reach learners, and learners need to know, why am I even doing this? What is it all about? And that's what a course objective will tell them. It's also available for every section. So it's not only the start of your book, the first page that they see a course objective, but every section will have a course objective. So let's say you don't have a degree in education. I happen to have a degree in education, so this aspect of course creation is very familiar to me. But if you're not familiar with how to create a learner objective, this platform does it for you. They have a list of verbs. You'll see the word identify in blue. That's one of many verbs that they gave me a choice of. And after that, to the right of that little blue square or rectangle, I was able to fill in with my words what the learner's objective would be. You can have several objectives. As you see, there's opportunities to add objective, add a question, add a question. Those two things probably wouldn't happen in an introduction, but they are available for you every time you add an asset. Those are the quizzes or the open-ended questions or whatever you want to add for knowledge check and assessment of learning. So here we go. I'm telling you, this platform has built-in user-friendly information. This is an example of where you might need help creating objectives. What type of an objective are you going to use? Well, here's the explanation for those verbs and the concept behind those verbs. And I would like to point out, here's a way to add content that also has a little gray circle with an eye in it. Anytime you have any question about adding content or objectives or image, whatever, within the platform, all you have to do is click on that gray circle with an eye in it, information will pop up. And with that comes examples. So you will never, I promise you, you will never be confused about what to do if you use the system they built in. So here's a way to add an asset. It's very easy. There are 3 ways you can do it. The first one is called an editor. It's where we create text. Hi, I'm glad you joined me in this class. This is a short quiz to assess your knowledge at the beginning of the course. Good luck, God bless, whatever you want to write. The next one, attach a file. Well, you can attach a PDF, a PowerPoint presentation, an audio or video file right from your computer. And the last icon, embed, is where you would insert a video or any kind of content you have from the web. And all you do is grab that HTML code and insert it that way. Here's where I was adding my files. Well, I clicked on the blue paper and I uploaded my PDFs, my audio, my video, whatever it is. You can upload images in JPEG or PNG. Your video file should be MP4. Your audio file should be MP3. Again, you can upload a Word document if you like, or a PowerPoint or a PDF. So it's very simple. And there's several choices where to find your source files. You can go right to your Google Drive. You can go right to the web. You can go to your Box account. And watch out, there's something amazing coming up. You can actually record the audio and video right within the platform. This is one of the amazing aspects of this platform that I absolutely love. And I think you're going to find out you're going to love it too. Because listen, you can do a recording and fumble around, and then in normal world, you would have to deal with that file and delete it. And here you just delete it and start over again. If you want to record a video and you have the long guy show up and there's noise or somebody burps, whatever, you can just delete it and start over. You don't have to go to a movie creation software like iMovie and edit and deal with it. You just simply delete it and start over right from the platform. Here's an example of what I have in my introduction. I wanted several assets to get everybody excited about what they're going to learn. So I have the front cover of the book. I have a page about what to expect in your journal experience. Amazing True Stories is just a boost to get everybody excited about what's coming next. There's a picture, a photograph of Will and I the day we met, the author, the subject of the book, Will Yazzie. He was an actor and I was a screenwriter, and we met in the Mojave Desert in California in 2007. So what I wanted to do was explain that experience and how the book came about in a recording. So I read from the book, the actual introduction by Jody. And then, of course, there is the actual introduction as it appears in the book, which you'll see next, or in an upcoming slide. I want to show you how easy it is for the creator, the project owner, to rearrange the assets. All you do is click on those hamburger lines and put it where you want it. And then the next thing that I want you to notice is that this collaboration between project owner and project manager happens all in one place. You do not have to email me, text me, or call me. Our communication will happen when you click that blue button that looks like a quote box, and all the conversation we need to have, it takes place within the platform. Very clear, very recorded, very simple. So here's an example. Rebecca McDougall, she is the project manager, and she's asking Christy Sadler, the project owner, could you please review this? And then she clicks assign task so that Christy gets an email that says, oh, wait a second, you need to log in and do something. In our case, I might say to you, hey, your image is blurry. I need a higher resolution. Also, you can make your changes, the 3 dots. I'm telling you, as a project owner, you're going to enjoy working with the platform because it's so user-friendly. Here's another example. When you're ready to review your content, you can click on preview to see exactly how it's going, how it's evolving, what needs to change perhaps. And if you want to see the overview, click on blueprint and see it in a large scale view. For the user, again, the learner is going to be able to skip if they choose a gray dot at the bottom. And also they can just go with the gray arrow to the right. Course navigation is again designed for the user to have an enjoyable experience. So here's a bonus that Cowcatcher Publications automatically throws at you. I am filled with opportunities to make you look good, to make you look professional. And here's an example for an author, but it could be your course cover or your free report, whatever it is, your PDF, whatever it is, I can make you look good. For example, this is a book cover that I can do it in mock-up that makes it look like there's 3 books on a shelf. Or perhaps you would choose a mock-up where the person is pulling off the book in the library, or a 3D version, or a workbook in a person's hand in the in the grassy knoll, whatever. I have all that at my disposal and I want to give it to you. Here again is that example of Will and I in the Mojave Desert the day I met him, and the place where I could narrate in my own voice. And that's important for learners because they get to hear your voice, they experience your personality. And that's so advantageous for you as a project owner. Excuse me. As you can see here, excuse me, there are the tools for the user to magnify the print so they can read it bigger. Here it is exactly as it appears in the book. And that's because I uploaded the content under an asset, a PDF file that it looks exactly like the book. The learner can also skip around. There's those arrows, there's a bookmark. So you can see if you're submitting things as a PDF, it looks good. Adding text is just like any other document creation tool or software you've probably already used, but be sure to give your asset a name. This is called My Transformational Course. And after you fill in your information and it goes into the system, it will no longer say no name. You will identify it as, oh, here's my introduction. Oh, here's your first quiz, or whatever your title will be. And lastly, we can republish anything with one click. Like I mentioned before, I think I republished this course 4 times. And there's the way to publish your course listed on the left. You can publish it as a link, which you got in the email invitation. I simply copied the URL and made it public so that you could see what Total Pardon the Prison Book Club looks like. Then, of course, if you're working with SCDC, like some of us are, you need to be able to publish your course in SCORM format. And that means the learning management system that is on the tablets, the information, your e-course, will be able to be consumed by the learner. It has to match the learning management system. You might choose to publish your course as a PDF. You might choose to publish it as a PowerPoint. You can publish it in all these forms. It really doesn't matter. And the last one is raw data. I don't think that will be used much, but it is available in case you need it. If you want to embed your course on your website so you can put a price on it and sell it, there's the embed code made for you. And at the end of the experience, the learner gets a congratulations, you're about to complete this course. To get recognition, click Mark Complete. And that's important because we want to know if they enjoyed the experience, right? Okay, all that to say, please consider scheduling your free 30-minute discovery session today. I really would like to get specific and find out if we are a match and what to expect if you go further. So here's my URL for my calendar. You can sign up right now. If you copy that or need that immediacy, there it is. You can get your appointment made today. And get you excited about that because maybe you don't know what to expect in a 30-minute conversation. Well, here's what you're going to get. We're going to discuss your background, your current situation, again, your availability. We're going to get real specific about what you've already compiled, what's out there that you could add. You're going to come away with a feeling of confidence, a feeling of clarity and excitement about the possibilities. May not be the right time right now, or it may be, but you're going to have the information that you need to consider all the possibilities. But there's another step, there's another level, and that is the exciting 90-day transformational experience for retired educators. Now let me tell you about that because I'm opening up 2 spots, only 2, because it's a discounted price because it's a launch. I am looking for experienced people to work with me who could give me testimonials. Now, there's a lot involved in 90 days. There's 12 weeks of lessons, video tutorials, worksheets, completely done for you to walk you through the process, to get you clarity before you even go further into the process, into the platform. There's going to be discussion about graphics. Maybe you don't know how to use Canva. We're going to give you all the cowcatcher secrets and tips in the 90 days, in the 12 weeks. In fact, you're going to enjoy one every week, a 1 hour, or if it takes more, one-on-one coaching with me. We're going to edit or talk about what your course creation is looking like and how I can specifically help you, answer any questions, share more of my tips and secrets that I've learned in these 20 years of publishing. And of course, I wouldn't want to be your guru if I didn't have a money back guarantee. Every guru says, oh, I'll give you your money back, but mine is conditional. Mine is conditional because if you are not, doing the completed assignments as given, or you're not participating weekly, then maybe you don't deserve the money back. But if you are not satisfied and it's not going your way and you've participated, 100% back to you. So believe me when I say after 90 days, you're going to have an evergreen asset that's highly valuable and highly effective e-learning course. It's going to be 2 spots that I open up. And after that, I have to increase the price. I have to double it, in fact. I want you to have confidence that the discovery session will clear up any confusion. It will provide you a foundation for going forward. And I hope you take advantage because this is exciting. This pandemic has done us a favor in one regard, and that is because the world needs your teaching gift. There are people out there who need your expertise. And it doesn't matter if you're a rug hooking expert, if you're a prison volunteer like I am, teaching anger management, or if you're teaching English literature or a craft or a cooking class. It just doesn't matter. The subject matter doesn't matter. There are people waiting in their living rooms just to hear what you have to say. Your expertise, you are the expert of you that needs to get out in the world. Like the video says, somewhere out there, someone is calling your name. So God bless you. And thank you for paying attention this long. I hope you have a great evening, afternoon, morning, whenever you view this. I can't really say, but it's been enjoyable on my part to share with you all the information on the Born to Influence Zoom gathering by Jody.